they still call it the tape that never aired. If you listen to it once, you'll think it's just an awkward interview. If you listen to it all the way through, you will never look at morning television the same way again. Good morning, everybody, Lara Spencer says, voice smooth and bright as the band's jingle fades and the applause softens into a curious hush. Our next guest is a philanthropist, a producer, and a woman who has sparked global conversations. Meghan Markle is here with us live. The camera's red light shifts. Meghan walks in slowly, cream blouse, navy pencil skirt, hair effortless but exact. She moves like she's being escorted into a diplomatic summit, not a morning show. She smiles for the audience, but her eyes are already measuring the space, calculating angles, mapping exits. Meghan, welcome, Lara says, offering her the warm, practiced smile that millions wake up to. Thank you for having me, Meghan answers. The smile is flawless, but cool. It feels rehearsed, like a line she's said too many times. In the control room, a producer quietly exhales. They got her. The guest of the month. The headline everyone's waiting for. Lara starts with the softest question in the deck. Meghan, so many people were moved by your recent work in mental health advocacy, she says. For viewers at home who might be struggling, what's one concrete thing that has helped you personally? It's a gift of a question. A slow pitch across the plate. Meghan's smile freezes by a single degree. Well, Lara, she says, people always want tips or tricks as if healing is a weekend workshop. It's bigger than that. It's about voice. Autonomy. Boundaries. She pauses deliberately, as if placing a crystal on a velvet cloth. When you understand those, Meghan adds, you don't need tools. You need alignment. A faint shift moves through the studio. Not negative, just off balance. Lara nods, still gentle. Alignment, she repeats. For some, that might mean therapy, community, or support. Or, Meghan interrupts softly, still smiling, it might mean refusing to answer reductive questions about your trauma on national television. Someone in the audience exhales sharply. Not a laugh. A small shock. Lara doesn't flinch. That's her gift. Her face is a calm sea even when the undertow begins to drag. I appreciate your honesty, she says. Let's talk about purpose instead. You and Prince Harry have launched several initiatives, scholarships, veteran support, digital well-being. Which program has surprised you the most with its impact? Meghan chooses her words the way someone chooses jewelry, slowly, visually. All of them, she answers. But I don't measure impact in applause or headlines. I measure it in the energy we've shifted. People can feel when systems are being asked to evolve. It sounds inspirational. It also sounds like she's dodging the question entirely. Results can be hard to quantify in the short term, Lara offers. Still, is there a story you personally carry with you? Someone whose life changed? The director whispers into his headset, yes. Yes. Give us a story, Meghan. Meghan lowers her lashes. There are many, she says. I just don't share them on command. Another pause. Privacy, she adds lightly. Remember? A quiet ripple goes through the seats. Here, right here, you can hear the first strain under Lara's voice. Barely noticeable. A tight thread under the silk. Completely fair, she replies. Let's go to creative work. You've moved from acting to producing and hosting. What new muscles are you using now? That assumes acting didn't require leadership, Meghan answers quickly. It did. I've always captained my own space. The difference now is, people finally notice. The laugh that floats from row 3 is nervous, not amused. Lara remains composed, but her eyes sharpen. You've spoken a lot about owning your narrative, she says. Women watching at home, balancing work and motherhood, find that empowering. What does a typical morning look like in your home? This is the softball question celebrities love. It's the moment where they say something cute about cold coffee and kids' toys. Meghan doesn't play it. We don't do typical mornings, she says with a perfectly measured laugh. I'm not going to pretend we make dinosaur pancakes before yoga. I have staff. I have structure. I have help because I build big things. And I'm comfortable admitting that. A producer behind camera too silently mouths, wow. Lara nods, slower this time. Honesty can be refreshing, she says. There's freedom in acknowledging support systems. Exactly, Meghan replies. Which is why it's strange when interviewers angle for relatability like it's a coupon they need stamped. The line floats, pretty and poisonous. Lara shifts her cards, though she doesn't need them. Let's touch on your new series, she says. You've teased conversations with women in high pressure roles. What question are you most excited to ask them? At last, Meghan brightens, genuinely. I want to ask what they refused, she says. The job they didn't take. The man they didn't marry. The smallness they escaped. Saying no is a superpower. Sometimes saying no is a privilege, Lara says softly. Some viewers don't have a safety net. Meghan folds her hands. The diamond on her finger flares like a camera flash. Sometimes the only limitation is mindset, she answers. People underestimate how much of their cage is imagined. The temperature in the room drops a few degrees. Imagination is powerful, Lara agrees. Absolutely. Though many viewers might also be dealing with real-world constraints: rent, childcare, healthcare. I'm aware of the world, Meghan cuts in sweetly. Are you? A soft "oh" murmurs through the seats. In the control room, someone mutters, did she really say that? Lara takes a breath so small it barely lifts her shoulders. When your documentary came out, she says, some felt inspired, others felt confronted. If you could refine one moment, not to appease critics, but to clarify your intention, what would it be? I don't rewrite, Meghan says, tilting her head. I iterate. And I prefer not to uplift critiques from people who haven't built anything. Lara's smile stays, but her eyes harden. Building at scale requires feedback, she says. Your platform is enormous. With that comes responsibility. I'm familiar with responsibility, Meghan replies. That's why I'm careful where I sit. A few audience members laugh nervously. A couple don't. We'll take a quick break, Lara says, turning to the camera. Stay with us. But when they return, the applause is thinner. Welcome back to Good Morning America, Lara says, flawless once again. We're here with Meghan Markle discussing leadership. Yes, Meghan says. Though I do wonder if people are ready for leadership in its truest form. It requires listening to someone who refuses to dilute herself for approval. Someone in the second row crosses their arms. That's one perspective, Lara answers. Others might say leadership means meeting people where they are. Inclusion doesn't mean lowering yourself, Meghan snaps softly. It means pulling people up to your level. The air tightens. Your documentary received both praise and criticism, Lara says. Some viewers felt it focused more on image than substance. How do you respond? I respond by reminding people that producing a global documentary while raising 2 children is substance, Meghan says sharply. If people can't see that, maybe they've never achieved anything comparable. A wave of discomfort rolls through the room. Many would say raising children and balancing work is already an achievement, Lara counters. Of course, Meghan says. But juggling errands is not the same as shaping global conversations. I operate on a different level. This time the audience reacts, quiet murmurs, exchanged looks. Some might say statements like that risk alienating people who could be inspired by you, Lara says, steel finally seeping into her tone. Do you worry about that? Not particularly, Meghan replies. If someone is threatened by ambition, they weren't meant to be inspired. Silence. Thick and uncomfortable. You've spoken about empowering the everyday woman, Lara says. What's your message to her? My message, Meghan says instantly, is to stop thinking of yourself as everyday. Stop glorifying struggle. Demand more. Don't settle for mediocrity. The word mediocrity hits like a stone on glass. Struggle can be noble, Lara answers quietly. Many viewers might feel dismissed by that word. Resilience is just survival with branding, Meghan says. I'm here to teach transcendence. In the third row, a woman shakes her head. For some, Lara says, leaning forward slightly, providing for your family is transcendence. Working 2 jobs is transcendence. Showing up is transcendence. And sometimes, Meghan replies sharply, that's just settling. Gasps. Real ones. Now Lara's jaw tightens. You know, she says slowly, our viewers work incredibly hard. They don't all have staff or platforms. And maybe that's why they tune in, Meghan answers. To learn from someone who has risen above those limitations. Or, Lara says, voice finally turning cold, they tune in for empathy. Not condescension. Empathy has its place, Meghan says. But leadership requires authority. And sometimes authority sounds like truth. Truth, Lara repeats. Truth can heal or harm. Then maybe, Meghan says, eyes glinting, people need to stop being so fragile. Everything freezes. Lara looks at her. Really looks. Fragile, she repeats. That's what you think ordinary people are. They just want comfort, Meghan says. Strength is what matters. You sit here, Lara says quietly, acting like the world owes you reverence because you married into a title. But titles don't build character. Work does. Respect does. And this morning, your answers have shown none. The audience erupts, applause, cheers, a release of held breath. Meghan blinks. For the first time, she's off script. That's not fair. No, Lara cuts her off. What's not fair is calling women mediocre for surviving. Not fair is mocking their hardship. Not fair is coming on this show and treating ordinary people as if they're beneath you. Meghan's eyes fill with tears, fast, sharp. I don't have to sit here and be attacked, she says, pulling off her mic. You're right, Lara says. Because this interview is over. Meghan, you are excused. Heels. Fast steps. The click of a door closing. Silence. Lara turns to the camera. Here at Good Morning America, we stand for respect. For our viewers. For our community. When that respect is broken, we stand with them. Music rises. Too loud. The audience stands, applauding like they've been waiting to breathe. The tape never aired. But you just heard it. And now the question that lingers long after the last second. Who truly lost that morning? The woman who walked out in tears? Or the industry that finally cracked its perfect smile?